on Twitter and message board,
Okay.
signed by Eric Boys and all the other guys. I guess the guys who are doing the corporate takeover.
But is it live for 100% or?
I think it's gonna be confirmed, but yeah, it's SegWit2x has been canceled.
Let's check.
Alrighty. Hey guys, my name is Mike Orkubera. Welcome to the live stream. We were just streaming on CryptoVerse's channel. We're at Indahash HQ here in the studio. We've got CryptoVerse and Ian Balina from Hacking the System. Now, of course, if you want to check out the channels, their links are in the description below. And we've got some serious news today. It's SegWit2x and Bitcoin. Bitcoin has been floating up a little bit towards $8,000. Did you check the markets recently? If not, I'd refresh coin market cap because it's approaching $7,700 right now. It went up a couple hundred due to the fact that it was canceled.
Yeah.
Actually,
let's see the price right now.
It's
around
crazy.
800 when I checked a few minutes ago.
Let's get everything live here. Okay, perfect. We have
I'm gonna pull the daily chart.
77.06,
Right,
80 cents right now. That's crazy.
Oh, look at that candle. Bosh.
And 108 viewers. Hello. Wow, that's crazy.
That's enthusiasm. That's a new all-time high.
77.10. That's the new all-time high right
all-time
now.
high, 78.99.
78.99. Wow.
What's that? The daily?
That's the daily.
The daily.
That is.
Now, do you guys think it's going to keep on going up or it's going to go down?
I think that is enough of a good news to push it through 8,000. Personal opinion, right?
I would think so as well, but people got into Bitcoin for free money. So
that's a good point. That actually that's a good point. So now you're not going to get your free coins. You may as well cash out.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a battle there.
People will cash out.
That's a good one.
For alts as well. But Bitcoin, I think, is still bullish. It's still going to be going up. So I guess everybody's going up.
Let's see what the alts are doing. Because if people went into alts as a retreat, oh no, everything's up.
Everything's up?
Everything's up.
It's going to be a green day today.
Wow. Yeah. Everything's green except the random first coin or whatever. That's crazy. Ethereum's up 3%, that 10. So if you are holding today, fantastic. You've made some money. The choice is now yours, whether you want to continue holding or if you've made enough money, let's say you've been holding for the past couple of months or even years, whether you want to buy that Lamborghini finally. So it's up to you. I mean,
you gotta have the Lambo.
we're going for it. Might as well. Let's see what some of the comments are here. Okay, we're not going to be talking about that. Mike, what would be your #1 cryptocurrency to invest in besides Bitcoin? Well, personally, I'm not going to recommend anything because my options where I invest in, it's like if I would say something, immediately throw it out there, then that's a little bit silly if you would immediately just boom, buy it right then and there without doing the proper research. As we were chatting a little bit earlier, you always have to do your research with ICOs, with cryptocurrencies, with investing, especially with day trading, where I think it was something like 90% of the people who day trade lose money in the end.
Absolutely.
So there's not much that comes out of day trading except, okay, so you get a little bit of experience and money, but that's it. There's so many other ways you can earn Bitcoin, earn cryptocurrencies. And especially with this now, is it too late to invest? For some people, yes. For others, well, it depends on what your goals are. If you want to purchase right now, even though it's at a high, like technically you could, and even if it fell down and you waited for the next couple of years and it went up to 10,000, 15,000, 20,000, whatever, sure, you make money. But it's like you make a little bit of money. Let's say you have $1,000, and even if you double it, well, what about if you threw that $1,000 into another altcoin, or that altcoin went up and it's the next Bitcoin, next Ethereum? You turn that $1,000 into 10,000. So it's all about opportunity cost, what you're doing with the money. If you have a lot of money, if it's diversified, if you're already holding, well, you're safe. If you don't have a lot of money, I'd be looking into ways to earn Bitcoin or possibly these ICOs. So what are you guys doing with your Bitcoin?
Right now, Bitcoin is my largest holding, but hopefully the altcoins have a rally so I can buy more altcoins. So I mainly do ICO investing. I'm kind of known as the ICO guy. But even right now with the whole fork issue, I was heavily in Bitcoin. But now I'm probably gonna slowly start to scale back into alts.
Okay,
cool. My biggest holding is actually Dash, and that's because of how much Dash increased in value since like last December. So that's why it's become the greatest holding in my portfolio. followed by Bitcoin. And all in all, I probably hold about 12 different coins in the whole portfolio. So I'm not big on obscure altcoins. I like to go with the established ones, you know, because I'm less willing to punt it on a small cap coin for the like 100% gain. Less interested in that and more about, you know, sustainable regular investing for predictable returns. So that's me.
I just had to put a user into timeout. So whenever somebody goes onto our channels, onto our live streams, and is like, buy this, buy that, sell this, that makes you wonder why that individual is doing it. It's not because out of the goodness out of their heart, most likely. They're like, oh, I want to help you out. Not so much. They want to make some money themselves. So especially from this, like, I'd understand if someone listened to us and decided to purchase something. I get it because, oh, okay, there's other people that are following, that are liking. Maybe he's right, maybe. But just listening to some random guy in a comment section, yikes.
Not the best place to get your investment advice.
Right. And I kind of missed the Polonics. What was it? They had the little chat, the troll box.
Troll box.
Yeah, the troll box was crazy. You could learn a little bit. Sometimes, every now and then, there was a gem. You could go off the trail.
Really?
Every now and then there was a gem, but you had to like know what you're looking for because it's like reverse psychology, and it's such a chaos that you're like, oh my goodness. Okay, well it went away, but you kind of miss it. It was the crypto community as a whole, especially with, I hate when they use terms like hodl.
Yeah.
Like, it just seems unprofessional when you're bringing in the new guys and they see that, let's say from banking or Wall Street, they're like, oh, wow.
Well, I think that's the whole reason why the space is growing, is because it's meant to be not Wall Street, right? Where the people who aren't in Wall Street still have a chance to make life-changing profits, as Tyson says, right? But it's basically kind of making the world flat, especially in the investing world, in terms of the returns, in terms of the gains. Right? So I think that's still a good thing.
Making the world flat.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Yes, I like it.
So I was just the playing field.
I was just looking at CoinDesk article here about the SegWit2x cancellation. So it says here, the suspension was announced in an email written by Mike Belsk, CEO of and co-founder of BitGo, one of the leaders of the SegWit2x project. He wrote, quote, "Unfortunately, it's clear we have not built sufficient consensus for a clean block size upgrade at this time. Continuing on the current path would divide the community and be a big setback for Bitcoin's growth. This was never the goal of SegWit2x." Says the note is also signed by companies that also supported the plan back in May, like Mike, Zappo CEO, Jihan Wu, Block CEO Jeff Garzik, Blockchain.info CEO Peter Smith, Shapeshift.io, Eric Voorhees, and so on. So collectively, they've all signed to say, we're not going to do this.
Okay.
There we go.
All the big names right then and there. By the way, hopefully you guys can hear us. Everything is correctamundo. Let's, who cares if it's in the way?
Right.
We want everybody to hear us nice and clearly. Guys, why do you think they pulled 2 times when it had the majority signaling for it?
I heard that, I guess some miners withdrew and it started to dip.
Well, it didn't though.
I'm not sure
I'm
about
looking at
that.
the data right now. Right this minute, 81% miner support.
Oh, really?
It's been trickling down for the last few days, but at the rate of like 0.5% a day. So at that rate, it still would have been a massive majority.
Right.
And what would have happened is SegWit2x would have been it would have had most of the mining power. The main Bitcoin chain would have ground to a halt, meaning blocks would have taken like 2 hours to confirm.
Right.
And then it would have taken until February to reach the next difficulty adjustment. Meanwhile, the SegWit2x chain would have raced ahead and everyone would have had to switch to SegWit2x because otherwise you couldn't use Bitcoin, right? So it's interesting that from that point of view, the SegWit2x folks had the power, right? It was brinksmanship, but I think they've done it on a principle. They've said, rather than do it out of their own egos, they're saying they don't want to split the community, right? They don't want to do it in a contentious way. Because you don't really know what that will cost them long term. Because if these guys were the ones responsible for a contentious hard fork, who knows? That might have closed doors for them in terms of opportunities from the other side. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
like people might not have invited them to meetings, or you never know. It's the opportunity lost, the opportunity cost of just being a, I'm trying not to use any swear words, but a dick, right? Right? Do you know what I mean? If you get branded as that, you miss out on opportunities you never knew you had, right? Maybe that's the mindset, you know. But they do specifically say they didn't want to divide the community. That wasn't the goal, and that's the basis on which they backed out.
They're now being referred to as a corporate takeover. That's the term people are calling them, right? So I think
on what basis though? Like,
I think they were saying mainly corporations were endorsing it, right? Like the BitGos, the Eric Voorhees, Shapeshift, all those, right? So it kind of goes away from the premise of being truly decentralized. It was becoming more centralized, owned by corporations, and being able to have that level of influence in something that's meant to be for everybody.
Yeah, so you're talking about the owners of the big infrastructure companies like blockchain.info.
Right.
If they can, because they control so much transaction power. And I noticed they hadn't changed their address format to SegWit, which is weird. Because you can imagine how many people have blockchain.info wallets, right? And every time you create a receiving address, it's a SegWit1x. Sorry, it's a non-SegWit address. So when you look at that chart on SegWit Party that shows the percentage of, where is it here? This one, I look at this every day. The percentage of overall Bitcoin transactions that are SegWit, it's hovering around 10%. So only 1 out of 10 transactions is actually using SegWit. And blockchain.info aren't one of them. So if they automatically started generating SegWit sending and receiving addresses rather, that would skyrocket, right? And the users would be none the wiser, right? So they've got that kind of power. It's interesting. So yeah, I take your point about the corporate thing. If it's corporations and CEOs deciding which way Bitcoin forks, it's not really in the spirit of it, is it? It's not community. Yeah. And that is a bit of a corporatocracy, as we could call it, right? Yeah, it's interesting. So that's kind of why people are enthusiastic about Bitcoin Gold. Because that takes us one step back towards one CPU, one vote. Tell me about
I don't know. I've always been against Bitcoin Gold because ever since the start of this whole mess back in July, I was always like, why is this even happening? Why are people fighting about it? Why? Okay, on one hand, it's a good thing that the price went up, but the people, I remember everyone was like, oh my God, is going to crash. Even right now, I see there was one content. Okay, so is Bitcoin going to crash right now? Of course, there's always FUD.
That's Bitcoin Gold.
Right. Nice little dump there at the very beginning.
Or a big range, right? But it's uptrend. Look at the lows are getting higher.
But that is, I mean, look at where Bitcoin's going up right now. If there's a giant correction with cryptocurrencies, like I think Bitcoin Gold's main factor is just the fact that a lot of people don't even fully understand what it is. They're just like, oh, it has Bitcoin in the name. I'll trust it probably compared to this Monero or Dash or Stellar Lumens or whatever.
Right.
So, well, if this is going up, then they hop on board that and they're like, maybe this is the next Bitcoin. They don't really understand exactly what's going on, that it's not Bitcoin. It's a different entity by itself. Like, for example, when I first got into cryptos, so I had the pump and dumps and then I took a break and then I got right back in because a friend made $100,000 off of Ethereum. He's like, buy Ethereum. I was like, whoa, this is crazy. What do I do? And then I saw like Ethereum Classic, and I was so confused by that. I was like,
which one's which?
What is this? And he's like, oh, Ethereum Classic is a scam. And I asked him, well, why is that? And then he got really upset about it. So even he, who was sitting in cryptocurrencies for quite a while, was just sketched out by it. Then the average person sees, why are there two Ethereums? And this one's like $7 and this one's like 100 or 200 or whatever it was at the time. So I don't know. Bitcoin Gold's a little bit. Do you like it?
I sold Bitcoin Gold the first week. I mean, it was free money, but I don't really trust it long term. I mean, Bitcoin is Bitcoin. Bitcoin, I think, will always be king when it comes to Bitcoin. There'll be lots of forks here and there to just kind of fill little spaces, I guess, different groups or whatever. But I think Bitcoin is going to be the king, right? So I would definitely keep my money in Bitcoin as opposed to any of the forks that come from Bitcoin. At this particular point in time.
Just want to see if it's if there's any sound problems, video problems, do let us know. So happy, PH. Perfect. The small people like us should just follow the movements. Korea's gonna okay. Let's see. If you have any interesting questions that aren't with SegWit, you're able to feel free to ask that about as well. Is that CryptoVerse? No, it's not Chris over here.
So
it's a clone.
Oh no, it's a clone for sure.
Yeah. And this isn't Ian. I just pulled off some random guys from Poland.
I'm just walking by here.
It's been 3D printed with this new biomatter with Barbara's 3D printer.
It's been a coincidence that
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Well, with this, so okay, it's going up right now, but over the next week, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think it's going to have a sharp correction due to the fact that a lot of people are like, oh, wow, okay, extra money, and it's coming in time for holidays, Thanksgiving in America, you know, Christmas is coming up.
I think it's going to pump a few days, maybe a day or two, as people buy Bitcoin.
Right.
Then people are going to move back to alts.
Yeah.
Right?
You think that's what's going to happen?
Yeah.
Do you
but
think...
I mean, I think everything's going to go up, right? So, but I think alts are going to rally now because people were in alts because alts were dumping based on the fork.
So that value was being transferred out of alts into Bitcoin for the split, right?
So I think now we'll start to go back into alts, but Bitcoin will still keep going up.
Sure.
Now, with the alts, do you think it's for the average viewer out there, the average investor who, let's say you have $1,000, you don't really know too much about cryptocurrency, do you think it's a decent time to invest right now? Because with them, they haven't really hit the highs as Bitcoin. They've just been up the past day or two or whatever. Like with me, for example, my biggest holding was, as you said, Dash. I used to go full out with Steam. That's because I made a lot of money with Steam. And also just keeping Steam on the Steam platform. I admit I was abusing the heck out of it with like the comments, just giving myself upvotes because, hey, extra $1,000 every month. But I'm selling it now because it was like, whatever. I made my money out of it. And it went down severely over the past couple weeks.
Yes. Now
with a lot of these altcoins, they've been down while Bitcoin has been flush with cash. Do you think it's still an okay time to buy, or it's better to just wait till all the chaos is over?
I mean, I think it would have been better to have the alts before the Bitcoin fork rally, because now you're basically chasing them up as they go up, right? It's always better to kind of buy the dip, buy the bottom. But then again, it's also hard finding the bottom. Right, so if there's a project you like, I think, at least for me, I mean, all right, I'm probably gonna go alt shopping again. I mean, I already have enough alts, but now it gives me more confidence to buy alts.
Have you seen that Mobius project?
Yes, yeah.
I thought that quite interesting.
I was actually part of their pre-sale a while back. Then they canceled it because they had to reincorporate in the Cayman Islands and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah, but overall, I'm bullish on them.
Yeah, I thought that was a good one.
I don't plan to invest in their ICO, just personal choice, but I'm pretty bullish on them. I mean, I think they're better projects, but it's long term though. I think it's a solid project.
So when I first came across it, people described it as the Stripe for blockchain, but I don't think that's accurate. I think it's more like Zapier for blockchain.
I mean, they're doing all kinds of things. There's an app store. Then people have kind of compared them to Chainlink and Swift and all these other kind of things where they kind of interconnect different developer tool sets or ecosystems to talk with each other. I mean, I'm still kind of confused with what exactly they're doing.
But do you know what Zapier is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Zapier, yeah.
That's an API layer that allows apps. So I think, from what I understand with Mobius, they're doing that, but to allow traditional web apps to
talk to
blockchains. So they're going to, any blockchain that doesn't have a good API, they're just basically going to build it, just like Zapier have done. So, and that's, to me, that's huge.
Yeah, I mean, I like their vision of what they're doing, but I kind of lost trust with the team.
In the Mobius?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, just kind of, because I was early in them, like almost 3 months. Then just kind of seeing how things have been panning out. They had their pre-sale, was on CoinList, then they canceled that, moved to some other platform. Right. Okay. So it seems like they're making so many different mistakes just getting this to launch that I'm like, let me just wait for this after the exchange to see what happens.
Fair enough.
To see if they can actually execute on this.
You see what happens when they hit the exchanges and see how the market decides. Sweet. Okay.
And you were ready to invest in the pre-sale, right?
No, I did. Then
okay.
They had to refund the money back to all the pre-sale
investors.
Oh, really?
Wow. Yeah. Did not know that.
Yeah. Cause,
interesting.
I mean, yeah, because stuff like that, right? Because I guess they had their pre-sale without doing all the legal stuff, right? So they had to refund everything back, reincorporate offshore. I think either Cayman or Switzerland, somewhere there.
Yeah.
Right. So they gave refunds back to everybody, filed the paperwork again, began the pre-sale. Now they went through CoinList, then they had to cancel that again. So I've kind of been through two
false starts.
I'm like, let me hold back now.
Right.
But long term, though, I still think it's a good project, though.
Fundamentally speaking, right? Because it's just short term problems, but the business case.
And you brought that up. Is there any similar projects, or what's going on?
That was just the one I was looking
Okay.
into recently, and we were talking about altcoins and ICOs, and that was the one that was top of mind for me, which I actually thought was a good idea. I agree with you on the business case side of things, but I didn't know all that background.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
So one I did get into recently was Raiden Network. You guys know about that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's interesting also.
Actually, this thing is already on Ether Delta up like 2x.
Get out of
already.
it.
I haven't had a chance to check yet, but apparently it's already doing pretty well.
Okay.
So that's one I'm very bullish on.
So how does that? You're gonna pay for Raiden transactions with the Raiden token or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, so I think the most of it should be free, but the different ways to kind of how they're using their token, where you can, I guess, kind of pay with tokens to get extra features or whatever.
What's it called? Radium?
Raiden,
Radium?
RAIDEN. It's not on CoinMarketCap yet.
Let's go Ether Delta then. Ether Delta.
Yeah, I think the token symbol is RDN.
Do you like Ether Delta?
I do.
To be honest, I get that it's like once you already send it, boom, it's good. But for me, it was always lagging. I just hated
It's slow. Yeah.
The lag with all. What was that?
The
air conditioning.
Time's up.
It's RDN is the token symbol.
Okay.
I mean, because those are Ethereum core developers, so the team is very competent. They've worked closely with the Ethereum Foundation. The project has kind of been hyped a little bit. Even though it's still under the radar, it was still pretty hyped.
Did they finish the ICO now then?
Yeah, they did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're going to get busy developing.
Yeah, they raised about 30 million or so, I think.
What?
Yeah, so it was pretty good for this market.
Why SegWit is canceled? Okay, so for those new viewers coming in, we were just chatting about the reason Bitcoin's going up and CoinMarketCap. If you guys would check that out, it's, what is it at right now? 7,000.
Back to Bitcoin.
Back to Bitcoin. Oh, okay, so it had a little bit. Ooh, 7,636, but it was at 7,720 or something like that. Where obviously some people are selling. Why not? They made some cool money. It's crazy. Can we maybe flip the laptop? Is it?
You want to swing it towards you?
Yeah, let's see if we can maybe. I don't know if there's. I don't know how well you might see this. Well, you can see it a little bit like that. That is absolutely crazy going up at the top over there, and that's the past couple of hours, right? Is this a 24 hours? Oh, this is a day.
This is today.
Okay.
So if you look at hours, we can do that. So that's since 6 a.m. So
since 6 a.m. it's been a
so
little bit rocky.
8 p.m. So let's look at that. When was this CoinDesk article published? Where's the date on it?
November 8th.
5:30 p.m.
When did it start pumping?
Around
8 a.m.?
Well, around 8 p.m. by looks of things. Right there. Like 3 hours after the news release. And then...
So, yeah, pretty much there was a news release where a bunch of the heads behind SegWit2x confirmed that it's going to be canceled. Now, there was still miner support at around 80%, I believe, right? Is that what it is? 81.2%. But now with the news coming out, people got excited. And it was supposed to happen in a week from now, November 16th or around there. Right. But, hey, sometimes stuff changes off with it.
Small market cap is 210 billion.
Wow.
It's crazy because I looked the other day, it was 201. And I didn't expect it to hit 200 so fast. I was actually shocked by the fact that.
So actually, I had a prediction a while back, probably like, I think summertime, that we're getting to 300 billion market cap. And now I think we're actually almost there. It was just a bet with me and my buddy. It's like, no way, else. Like, cryptos are gonna do what, like 10x in like 1 year? Because market cap a while back was only 30 billion at some point in time. Like this year, I believe. Right. So 300 billion is ridiculous.
And the fact that I just remember there was comparisons between PayPal and Bitcoin, where PayPal had like 70 or 80 billion, and Bitcoin had less at the time. It had like 60 billion, and now Bitcoin's surpassing PayPal by like, well, it will be 2 times.
Almost double size.
Yeah, because it's 127 billion right now. It's approaching where. Listen, even if it is a bubble, if we look at what happened in 1994. And, leading up to 2001 with the whole .com, if it is a giant bubble, then we're sitting hopefully, I'd like to
I don't think it's a
imagine.
bubble. I think we're far from it.
Far from it, but
I mean, there are occasional pullbacks on the way towards the moon, right? But overall, though, I don't think
even if
it's a
it is a bubble, if a sufficient number of new people find out about Bitcoin, it fills in the bubble,
right,
and then the bubble gets slightly bigger, right? Because as long as new people discover Bitcoin and believe in it, that shows up kind of like, I did a video on this like a couple of weeks ago, because a bubble is defined as like a very thin layer full of air, but Bitcoin's not entirely a bubble because there is a hard core in the middle, right? The question is, how much of it, let's draw this something, how much of it is solid value and how much of it is the speculative value, right?
right,
And I drew it as like, say, for example, the $7,000 price is the total sphere, but maybe the speculative bit, the bubble bit, is maybe $2,000 or $3,000. There's no way to really know, right? What I'm saying is, even if it's a bit bubbly, if this core gets bigger, and by that it's like hardcore holders who believe in it, this gets bigger, right? And bigger and bigger and bigger. You know what I'm saying?
right.
And every time it's pulling value from the old financial system. So even if it is a bubble, it won't pop unless people leave, right? And that core shrinks, and then the bubble kind of pops in on itself. But if it keeps, I'm going to say inflating, but if that core value keeps increasing, it's a foundation that's going to support the whole ecosystem. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
and it is a fair amount of money that we're talking about here. $200 billion for the people who think it's going to crash overnight. Well, if it was to crash, this is days, weeks, months, and because just think about how much money that is. That's crazy. That's more than certain countries are worth. So like,
yeah.
You know, and these are all different altcoins and all that stuff. And there's more ICOs coming out. There's more cryptocurrencies that are going to get listed. There's more of this stuff, more markets every single pretty month. I mean, like new exchanges. It's crazy. You look at what happened over the past 6 months, and I mean, there's just a new field of jobs that are coming out, new work. It's, you know, with there was like this thing that a lot of the college students right now, 50% of them will be working in 5 or 10 years in jobs that currently don't exist. They're going to be coming out where we look, and I remember where it was like, oh wow, an iPad, cool, yeah. or an iPhone, and now it's like, oh okay, iPhone X with cryptocurrencies, where really the hype started last year, because 2013 no one really cared about it. Like no one from school, no one from outside. You ask some random lady like, oh, what's Bitcoin?
I had no idea.
I don't know. Now you ask, oh, I heard about that. Yeah, the news.
Yeah. How do I buy Bitcoin?
Do you think that's a little bit worrying though? Because a lot of people say, with back to the bubble thing, whenever your neighbor starts being interested in Bitcoin, it's time to sell. What do you think about that?
I think it's sort of healthy to take profits, right? I've been holding cryptos for some times where I didn't sell and I didn't like it afterwards. All right, so I think whenever you see some kind of event that is rare, take some profits.
An unusual spike, right?
Yeah. So actually, I just sent out to my audience. So there's an ICO, which I'm not bullish on at all, that just appeared on the Tai Lopez show.
Really?
Yeah, like an hour-long interview or whatever. And I'm like, wow, Tai, that's probably gonna be a big pump. So I'm very curious to see. Man. Yeah, I'm curious.
Those today?
Yeah, right today.
Really? I'm kind of
curious
about that. Yeah.
Let's search YouTube for it, right?
And that's interesting with Tai, because a lot of people.
He has a mainstream audience.
Yeah.
Right, so I'm curious to see what happens with that ICO now.
And also, he has a lot of millennial followers, right?
Yeah, he has like over 1 million.
Subbies, right?
On YouTube, yeah, everything.
Let's have a look at his channel.
Now, a lot of people were making fun of him, and they're like, oh, okay, here's the Lamborghini in Hollywood Hills. But he actually has a lot of good connections in Los Angeles. He is what it is. Like, he's maybe if he wasn't a millionaire before, maybe if it was rented Lambos and rented house and all that, he's definitely at that point right now where just what he's doing, he's gotten, at first going into YouTube, nobody trusted him. Everyone was like just making fun of him. But now he's gotten to that point with over 1 million subscribers and hanging out with celebrities and all this stuff. even if it's not fully, you know, if it's inflated and all of that, there is a certain air of legitimacy to it where just featuring something like that.
So this video is called "Why This Female Entrepreneur is Giving Away 2.2 million in Cryptocurrency for Her AI Chatbot."
Huh.
So
1 hour ago. Let's see.
I just want to read the description here. Okay, so it's kind of podcast style. It says Bitcoin is all over the news these days, but do you understand it? If you want a primer on what Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is all about, this episode is for you. The sale of the Cents token is now open.
Yes.
Ty Lopez
Crazy.
/Cents.
Let's check out.
So actually, that's the wife of Brock Pierce, I believe.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
Oh, interesting.
and Brock Pierce went to Ty Lopez's. He had this kind of cryptocurrency mastermind in LA.
Okay.
Like a few days before BlockCon. So he invited like all the top people in that space to come to his mastermind. I think that's how they got plugged in, I believe. Yeah. So it seems like
21 days left.
how much of the raise does it say?
Pre-sale and developers 65 million Cents tokens sold. Institutional allocations 66 mil. Now on the main sale of 2 million coins. I'm not quite sure what's going on there, but looks like it's active right now.
Does it say how much one Ethereum would purchase? Let's see.
Oh wow! Also really
Purchase
pumping.
tokens? No, you got to sign up. Interesting.
Soft cap 10 million.
Hard cap 15 mil.
Oh, they changed the cap.
Yeah.
What was it before?
I think it was a lot higher.
28.5% retention for the company.
Well, with that, now it's like it's actually a difficult month with the ICO. So if they did have higher caps, they'd rather lower it down. They had to because, you know, it would look a little bit
The market
strange.
is much smarter now.
Right.
Much more educated.
It's a big team.
Simon Dixon. Back to the Future guy.
Huh.
So what is AI chatbots? Is that the idea?
I think they call it like decentralized human something.
Cents creates a blockchain-based smart contracts in chat and rewards humans for contributions they make to one another conversationally across Sensei and other messenger applications. Huh. Interesting. Humans can monetize their proof of intelligence in data used to train AI applications and agents. Okay, that's interesting. So what the AI, the machine learning algorithm is going to watch you have a conversation, or say me, have a conversation with people in chat, and it's going to learn from me and then turn that into an automated chatbot. That's kind of interesting. It's a great way to replace yourself as a knowledge worker. Rock on.
Well, I mean, we're moving towards a world where some people will be quite scared with certain jobs being taken out due to technology, where it's expanding at such a rapid rate now. Or who knows? I don't know. It seems a little fluffy to me.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I was shocked that now they have the stage and the audience of Ty Lopez.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see how that impacts.
Although I'm very surprised, I'm sorry, Ty, but about how poor. Million subscribers. Look at the views though.
But it's going to update. Oh, 4 days ago, 20,000. 2 days ago, 6,000.
Something's
Yikes.
off there.
On
Even
views?
30,000.
That's really
yeah,
bad.
So his initial video, like the garage video, was all ads.
What do you mean? The launch video for that ICO?
No. I mean like Ty Lopez's video.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but the subscribers,
There's no engagement.
there's no engagement whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, because he bought the views with ads, right? And he always has what I call the carrot on a stick philosophy with his audience. He would say, "Here, subscribe to this channel, and win a laptop or whatever." So people subscribe just to win the laptop.
The giveaways, yeah, that was
but they aren't really engaged, right? Once they don't win, they just move on.
Right.
All right, so they're not really subscribing for him; they're subscribing for the prizes, right?
And then they stay subscribed.
Yeah, then they just tune out, I guess.
Huh. Well, at least it looks
But
good.
hey, I
The
mean,
quality.
It works for him. Huh?
He doesn't care. He's got He's got the connections, he's got the money, and as long as it grows every now and then, that's all. Do you think he's getting a decent share in the company, or he's getting?
He has a small share.
Well,
I have some inside info, but
it's got a referral link here.
But
it says there's a affiliate link and then there's a promo code, Ty. So yeah, definitely getting tracked back to his channel, clearly, right?
Okay.
So there's a reason why he's doing that. So there must be some kind of scheme going on there. So, yeah.
Whenever you use the word scheme, it's a little.
Well, that's become a tarnished word, isn't it?
Right.
Well, what else do I call it? Setup. Whatever.
Well, what do you guys think about multi-level marketing with
the Ponzi coins? I don't touch them, but my audience talks about them all the time because they see all these crazy returns. But Connect, then there's
well, we just saw Laser on his screen. It was like all over the place on CoinMarketCap, where it costs like $100,000 or $50,000 a day to advertise. Yes. They go full. There we go. See, it's right there. Boom, 12%.
Yeah, I think it's ridiculous.
That's not gonna last. There's no way. And it has like spelling errors and ultimate money making machine. Oh,
that's a big, US based.
US based. Oh, totally.
With spelling errors, I don't think so, right? Well, the server's based in the US. You could say that, right? It's US based.
Right. See, the only thing that's a little bit concerning though,
just like this. You have to employ it.
I think you got it. Where is it? That did go down from like $2 billion, but
it tanked.
Yeah, see, the interesting thing is the price is at 294, so it's been going up.
But it was over $1 billion. I recall.
It was over $2 billion even. So now with 600 million, but still, let's say for example that boom, it's gone. Suddenly $1 billion is gone. CNN, BBC, all the big medias are going to see that. They're going to love it. They're going to pick it up. The people who are crying, oh no, I lost $10,000. I lost my college fund. I lost everything. I lost my house. Well, that's not going to look good.
It kind of reminds me of chain coin. It kind of feels like
good old chain coins.
Yeah.
Ion coins. Well, it was an interesting little pump.
What puts me off about those is when you look at the way they present them, all they talk about is how much money you can make, right? I'm like, okay, I can make some money from it. Where's the money coming from? And there's just a distinct lack of detailed information about the business model and how they're creating value to be able to pay out those commissions, right? Because I'm quite open. I'm open to the possibility that Laser can give me 12% returns, right? I need to know the other side of the coin, if you excuse the pun. And if you accept the returns without then scrutinizing it and saying, okay, how does the company sustain itself? Where's the value coming from? And how can you afford to pay out whatever the Laser thing is talking about? 12%.
They say
daily return
that they made their money from like laser technology. Oh, cool. That's very oblivious. Like,
sure,
not oblivious. That's the wrong word, but very generalized, very broad. Okay, cool. I make money from.
Because
investing, lending.
That reminds me of some other scams I've seen on Telegram with some bots, where it's like, I guess it's a gambling bot, but robot was one. My friends lost Bitcoin with that because they tried it out just to experiment. They were brand new in crypto. They gave this bot the money. It was supposed to generate like 6% daily return, whatever. Then I joined their Telegram group, began asking questions about the math because the math didn't add up. They started banning everybody.
Right.
A week later, the Bitcoin were just gone, just vanished.
See ya.
All right, so I think it's the same type of scheme, Yeah, so I don't touch those Ponzi coins at all.
See, my favorite is that nice little gentleman over here. This is actually the golden standard, though. Like, I love this website. Do you want to know why? It's the quality. As a marketer, I look at it. They're fully marketing. They have music playing. They have video updates every week. And the graphics are insane. Yeah, so when you start playing the video, they like start throwing money at you and like lasers. And they're paying somebody who, it's not like some random Fiverr guy or whatever. So like this actually had a lot of investment and time and effort behind it.
Video production.
They're going full out. Oh, this is a daddy thing.
It kind of like looks like the Matrix Construct program, right? The white and so on. What's all this? Zooming in and out.
Oh, just wait for it. It's getting fully in. So he starts
Oh,
talking.
snap.
Yeah,
Oh wow.
just money flowing everywhere.
Oh, nice. That looks like bullets. So I'm still sticking with the Matrix.
See, he goes full out and then starts showing off his team later. And this is just like one video that he posts every week. He's like, hey, my name is Antonio Garli. I'm the CEO. So we earned $80 million. And they're fully out front about, oh, here's $20 million invested and $80 million. And there's like 60 million there just kind of like floating around. It keeps growing. Yeah. It's crazy, right? Imagine if we had an editor like that just for YouTube, just for a random video. Pow, 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 pow. It's crazy. So this isn't like the usual scheme where it's just like, oh, here you go.
12% daily. That's BS. But
Wow, that's crazy.
But the thing is, it's kind of like with Bernie Madoff. As long as it pays, people will support it.
until it doesn't.
Until it doesn't. But even then, people will support. People supported Control Finance when it fell down $150 million because people were like, let's not say anything bad, because they held on to the hope that, okay, there was an email sent out a couple hours beforehand that the money, there's just problems, there's an update, okay. And then they start like thinking the logic's gone because it's all emotional. They don't even know exactly how it works. Like they're targeting everybody, but mainly the people who don't even know how to invest money, let alone into crypto. It's just, oh, you hear 12%. Well, I'm a soccer mom and I don't really, I have like 2 kids and, you know, maybe I don't make that much money.
And to your point, like they just showed you the interface. They made it so simple, like
Right.
sign up.
Boom.
And the techie cryptocurrency engineers can't compete with that kind of interface. So
look at that. That's just crazy.
Make it rain.
And see, you look at that, you're a mom or whatever that's got 2 kids, you're like, wow, this is a crazy company. They've got a lot of people working for them and they have to have a team. Like it's not this guy who's just like, oh, okay, well, let me do the SEO, the marketing, here's CoinMarketCap, here's the videos. I'm going to do the content. I'm also behind, like I was asking a coder, what would it take to make this website? They have, it has a lot of PHP code behind it because it has updates. So every couple of hours, it tells you how much money you're going to earn. And that just, it's very difficult to just, oh, okay, here we go. Boom, manage that. And without any glitches. Now, of course, if there is a glitch or like a little spelling error, I understand why, because there's just so much to manage for such a project. But then you look at something like BitConnect, where they have offices in like third world countries, in Africa and Thailand. And then you see like, I don't know, for example, like BitConnect Indonesia, I typed it in or something like that, BitConnect Thailand. And then there's like this one picture, one of the first pictures, a guy's wearing a Hermes $1,500 belt with like Porsches and BMWs. It's just like, yeah, BitConnect conference. Perfect, great. He may do a question and answer at the end. Hi, Jack. No, well, okay, so we'll watch the chat a little bit more. BitPetite went bankrupt this week. Well, BitPetite had a little bit of a, supposedly BitPetite had an exit scam. Hey, wait, hold up. I have $500 to spare. Do you think it would be better to wait until the correction before buying Bitcoins?
Oh, Filipino Benny.
Well, see, here's the interesting thing. First of all, as we've been saying, it's good that you ask, but if you have money and you don't really know what you're doing, first of all, education, like spending money, it hurts when you lose it because it's your money, unless you're borrowing it, which that hurts 10 times more because the bank or your family or friends, they'll definitely let you know what they feel. So if you have $500 and it's yours, you've earned that, great. You've already, you know, beat out some of the other people who just invest stupidly. I wouldn't say even invest at that point. But honestly, with our opinions, no matter what we say right now, you always have to do your own research behind us. Look at other YouTubers. Now, this is better because we have 3 crypto YouTubers here, but if it was just me, then that's, or just Chris or just Ian, well, then that's even less safe. But personally, do you think it would be better to wait until the correction before buying Bitcoins? Personally, I think it'd be better to earn Bitcoins and invest $500 into some project that has a higher potential for bringing like 10 times or 20 times returns or whatever. Now, the main thing you're focusing on is earning Bitcoins, because if you have only $500 to spare, that probably means you don't have a lot of capital you're working with. So, you guys, what's your opinions on that with $500 to spare? Is it better to wait until the correction before buying Bitcoins?
The correction. Depending on how long you intend to hold it for, would cater the answer. So if you would be looking to hold for more than a 6 month time horizon, you could buy now. It would be fine. Because there may not be a pullback. That's always the thing.
Right,
Like today, we didn't know that news about SegWit2x was going to come out. And I was expecting a pullback because it was way overextended, right?
Right.
Oh, my goodness. Look out.
It dumped.
Whoa.
7,300. Wow. Okay, so that's like a $400 dump right there.
Just cashed
Yeah, man,
out.
that's about
Boom.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
Although the volume isn't as high as the previous hour.
That's crazy.
So maybe you'll get there, but we've got another 22 minutes until that candle's fully formed. So we'll see. See that candle?
Wow.
Right there.
All right.
So there's still time for that volume to catch up. It's going. It's really going. So we're at 10,000 Bitcoins traded in the last hour on Bitfinex. That's crazy.
Well, you know, people made a lot of money within just a couple of hours. If you're talking about, let's say, I knew somebody actually, I was Skyping him, and he told me that he wanted to sell part at 6,000, part at 8,000 because he's been holding enough Bitcoin that he bought it a couple $100. So
okay,
he doesn't care at this point anymore. Even if it dropped like $1,000, he's made millions of dollars. So for him, he has a goal, and there's plenty of people like that. Maybe not, oh, they made millions, but if you make a couple $100,000, you're already better off than 99% of the world. So at this point, making an extra 10,000 or an extra 20,000, if you had a dream car, let's say the Lambo, that's all you care about, just the Lambo.
It's an interesting point. So how long to hold
Right.
until you've got enough to do the thing you want to do?
Right.
Right. Buy the Lambo. So you can measure it, 180,000 pounds or whatever it is. And at the point where, if that's why you're investing in crypto, the point at where it's worth 180K, why don't you sell it and buy the Lambo? Right.
Right.
Because if you go, well, it might go up even more, but why? Right.
You don't even
just
care.
told me the goal was to buy the Lambo. You can do it. Why not do it? But some people just think, well, you're just holding for the sake of holding. But like, why? You're going to die holding crypto? You know what I mean? There's got to be a point where you reach the goal that you're shooting for.
When you spend it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, because otherwise, what are you doing it for?
Right.
Seriously. You know what I mean? Yeah, the goal has to be measurable. Otherwise, how do you know when you've reached it? So,
I mean, it's good to always kind of wait for more and do like 50-50 or sell a little bit, and, you know, if you hope it goes more. But worst case scenario, it does go up a little bit further. Okay, you don't really regret about it because there's always more opportunities.
SegWit2x futures have crashed. Oh my goodness me! Actually, let's look at it because I've got this on here. There was Hit BTC was trading them.
Okay.
B2X futures.
B2X futures.
Let's have a look at this. Bosh.
Wow. Boom. And how much is that?
That went from $1,300 down to like.
Wow.
Some people are buying it.
Well, yeah, because if it dumped so hard, then of course there's going to be people who just look at, oh, red candle, boom.
I suppose maybe it was bots can do that as well. If it looks for a mad crash, it might be bots trading.
Yeah.
But, wow.
From $1,300.
Let's look at the daily. Look at this. Look at this. Boom!
Holy moly.
That's crazy. Ouch. Well, so they're going to be worthless now.
Right.
You know, unless they change their mind, which I don't think they will. So
it could be like, here's the thing. Again, people could be buying because they could change their mind
or do it again some point in the future.
Right.
So, yeah, man, that's the one.
Never know.
Wow,
it's crazy. Now let's check out something that we're actually here in the. We're at Warsaw right now, so you might be wondering, well, why are we all together here? And we've actually been chatting about various cryptocurrencies. So this isn't our office. We're actually in Indahash right now, and we invested personally in this today a little bit. Did you invest personally?
No, I did not.
Okay, cool. But just the fact that we're here, our time is valuable. Nothing in the world is for free, of course. Nothing. So if you're watching this video right now, that's not for free. We're taking our time. Now, the reason you're here is because we already sold you on being here. You may not believe that, but just think about it for a little bit. Anyways, so we invested a little bit earlier. That was kind of like a demo on live stream, and we were playing around because this was actually personally my first ICO that I invested in. I've been paid in tokens before. I got a little greedy, but you know, you learn about it. This is the first ICO that, oh, okay, I got paid in tokens, and also might as well invest a little bit in it. And now a couple of hours into it, we're going to check out, just see an update of what's happened. So when did we start? It's 8:40.
We started streaming about 3. The ICO went live at 4.
Mm.
So we've been going like
5 hours,
nearly 4 hours now.
4 hours, pretty much. So what happened earlier was we were streaming on the CryptoVerse. If you want to check that out, you can go out to Chris's channel, and we were going full out for like 3 hours. Well, mainly.
Okay.
And with that, it's only been a couple of hours. And how much Ethereum is that right now? That's 5,000, nearly 200 Ethereum, 5,200 Ethereum, which is approaching 1.6 million.
Yeah.
1.6 million number of transactions. Now, is that how many accounts there are?
No, that's unique pledges.
Unique pledges.
Yeah.
So nearly 2,000 people.
Yeah.
Wow.
Assuming each person only put 1 lot in. But,
Okay.
I think that's roughly 1,800 people.
Can we see how many? What's the largest on here, or what's the smallest?
I wonder if we can sort this.
You should be able to. If you go to the token contract.
We're on
this is it.
Etherscan right now, and I do apologize that we're not able to show all the details, but I need to get one of those little remote that is able to show.
Token symbol.
Yeah, this is it. This is the actual Indahash token contract.
I don't think the tokens have been sent yet. I think they're locked up.
Well, yeah, because it's a smart contract. We were experimenting with that earlier because we thought we had the crypto right then and there. So, okay, why not send it to one wallet and see if it works? And if so, then you're able to send it to Ether Delta. And technically, you could create your own market, but it didn't work, which is good. Because if it actually went through, that would be a little bit, Even that's crazy. Just on the go, 46 seconds ago, 55 seconds ago, 60 seconds ago.
I have to step out briefly.
No, it's cool.
Okay.
It's cool.
Bye. All right, take care, guys.
All right, this was Ian, Balina, Hacking the System. Link is down in the description below. Again, we're crypto YouTubers, and we're just gonna. I'm gonna be streaming for a couple of hours here, seeing how it goes. We're gonna be chatting about various topics, but mainly crypto related. So the main thing was SegWit2x. Now we did talk about that, which if you're new, did get canceled. So it went up to $7,700 and then fell down to $7,300.
Actually, I think it topped out at 7,900.
7,900.
Yep.
Wow.
So the high of the day is right there.
78.99.9. Yeah, so $7,900.
That's what the daily candle looks like.
Whoa, and it's 7,000 right now.
Yep.
It's below 7,000.
Go back to the 1 hour chart. See what's.
Yikes.
Ooh.
Yikes.
Let's show it.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's show it. Do you see? Okay. Yeah, that's perfect. So you see that nice little red candle there? It's fluctuating constantly. That is pretty much, we're good. That's like $800, $900 difference there. It's below $7,000. And that is due to the fact that a lot of people made a lot of money very quickly because of this update. Then some people got their dream car, got their, who knows, maybe there's some millionaires right now who were like 990,000. Oh, $1 million, I don't care anymore, whatever. They sold, they dumped, and then as soon as you get that, then it's like, uh-oh, you get a little bit of FUD because one person's like, oh no, it's crashing, crypto's crashing now, Bitcoin, it's gone, it's all over. And then you hear that one individual, it's 10 people, it's 100, it grows exponentially. And what's the volume?
This is the depth chart. So this is the prices, right? So
Jesus, it's jumped $220 in like 1 minute.
And these are the walls, right? So there's a lot of people waiting to buy at 7,000. There's a lot of people willing to sell at 7,300. There's a lot of people waiting to sell at 7,600. And then there's tons of people waiting to buy at 6,800. So the battle's on right now.
Wow. That's insane. See, when you see something like that, where it's volatile by nearly $1,000 in like such a short span of time.
That's an hour right there.
Yeah, it's an hour. It's, oh man.
And the volume's catching up. So the trade is not done yet. It's already recovering. It's a mad battle going on right now.
Jeez. Now, how much volume do you think it needs to manipulate it? Like you see, it's jumping from 7,100 to 7,200.
Right.
What do you think?
We're heading on to for 20,000 bitcoins traded in the hour at this rate.
20,000 bitcoins.
Yep.
Let's see how much that is. 20,000 bitcoins. 1,000 BTC to USD.
And bear in mind, this is only data from Bitfinex, so it's only one exchange. So it gives you some perspective.
$145 million in an hour. $145 million on one exchange. So we're hundreds of millions of dollars in an hour, and
changing hands.
There's people who are probably like $1 million dump, $1 million, 10 million, boom, just like that, gone.
That's a good point. We can have a look at this. So here's the order book. This is people wanting to sell, and here's the quantity. So some guy there is waiting to sell 99 bitcoins.
Wow. At
71.49. There's a 30 Bitcoin order. See if we can find
99 Bitcoin. That's $718,000. Just boom, one order.
Right.
Gone.
Exactly. Let's see if we can find a bigger one. 50 Bitcoin.
50 Bitcoin, 13, 109.55, 287.
That's a big wall right there. They want to sell it $7,300.
How much is that?
287.1.
That is $208,200. Yikes. That is crazy. Now let's see about the buying sign. Does anyone want
a lot weaker? Look at the small
orders,
right?
Right. 12.
Where's the big ones?
217.
That might be the same person. They're waiting for 7,000, and then they want to buy 217 bitcoins.
Now that's a whale there, folks. He doesn't
But they're
care.
protecting the price. That's like a safety net, because that's a huge.
That's a wall. Yeah.
Line of support there. Actually, some of it's already been removed. It's 56 Bitcoin now. I know. Or 0.1, 7,000 Bitcoin. 0.1 is where that's at now.
Wow. That's crazy.
It's mental.
73.50.
Yep.
Have you seen it jump around that much before? Because
I don't usually watch the hourly chart because it's just too
it's all over
stressful.
the place. You can't so I remember I used to do day trading within the first couple months of this year because I was okay, cool, let's make a couple $1,000s. And honestly, I couldn't take it. Sure, I made money, but the stress was just you try planning what's going to happen over the next couple of days. There's no chance you can do that if you can't plan the next hour where it's like, oh, boom, $1,000 just lost like that. You see, I don't know, 20%, 30% of your portfolio gone. I literally remember when I had $4,000, I turned it into 20,000. And I was like, oh, okay, let's try and get 30K. And suddenly, boom, 10K. I lost 10,000 in profit. Now, of course, I still made money and I decided to cash out there, but it's so stressful. You just see that. You're like, I don't know what to do. And then people take advantage of that, of course. The whales, boom, because there's no emotion whatsoever. They've been doing it for years. So again, 90% of people lose their money day trading. You should definitely know what you're doing. You have years of experience. Like there's other crypto YouTubers, for example, Data Dash used to trade, I think, stocks and all that for years. So you have somebody like that who's also just studied economics and stocks and how that works. And for example, even with me, the only reason I thought day trading crypto would be kind of cool is because I day traded, well, a little bit. I had some experience with stocks before. If I had zero experience whatsoever, not a chance I'd go in on, especially on such big orders. There's and a couple thousand to me is a lot. It's like it is a lot to the average person. So
especially if you lose it in like 2 minutes.
Right.
That's bad.
Right. 2 minutes, boom, gone. I FOMO'd myself, saw the news, bought more Bitcoin at 7,700, then it dropped like a rock. FML. Well, it is what it is. So if, for example, it does get too stressful where you lose a bunch of money within minutes, and at that point, honestly, the safest thing you can do is just close the computer, because if you're stressed out, if you're like,
start chasing the dragon.
Right? Exactly. At that point, you're like, oh, I don't care about 10%. I'm just going to sell right now. And that is the worst mindset you can possibly have at that moment.
Right. That's a trader's mindset. After any big win or big loss, walk away. And that includes a big win, because that messes with your head just as well as a loss. Because then you can feel invincible and then give it all back. So if you make like mad bank, if you made $2,000 in 2 minutes, take the day off. Right. That was one of my trading mentors told me to do that. If you ever have X% gain in X short space of time, no more trading for that day because you got to let the emotion wash out. It's like chemicals. You've got to let them settle down, right? It will mess with your head.
You need to educate yourself before you make investments. It was always expected that after a fork, the Bitcoin price would drop. Well, always is a very strong word, but if you are investing in the long run, you don't really care about what happens over a week or two periods. It's
True.
these guys who want to make like 20% in a month, which it's possible, or 30% or 40%. But now with Bitcoin and Ethereum and slowly these top 5 cryptos, it's getting much more difficult than it was at the beginning of the year. So if you're watching this right now, which I'm kind of curious how much people it is, 237 people watching this right now. There's a fair chunk of you guys who probably heard about Bitcoin for the first time this year. And you're like, wow, okay, so my friend made a bunch of money earlier this year from Ethereum or Bitcoin or an ICO or whatever. So you see that. Oh, thanks for the like.
That's okay.
So you have that, and it's going back through your mind, but you need to educate yourself first before you go into this. For example, right now we're at a company HQ where in order to be here, we had to do our research, where if we check our emails right now, we get so many ICO emails, boom, just like that. It doesn't even have to be an ICO, but just random companies. I've never seen that before in my entire life. Like I always wanted the whole, it's all about building relationships.
Mm-hmm.
If someone comes to you, that's a much different approach than you going to them.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
It's cold because at that point you're cold calling or emailing or whatever. It's like, it's very difficult to set something up if you don't have a lot to offer. If you do, then by all means, of course, approach other companies. But with crypto, it's just like there's money all over the place suddenly. And there's so many eager people where even with 245 people watching right now, that is something that if someone wanted to abuse, you could easily do that because there's a bunch of naive people. I'm not saying everyone, but just statistically what we've seen, at least personally, where people are throwing money left and right and then crying, oh no, I lost my college fund. Well, what are you doing with the college fund? That's your college fund. You shouldn't be investing that.
Right. Because that's not money you can afford to lose.
Right.
You know, you can be out of college, right? And if you don't care about that, fine. But why did you go in the first place? You know?
The only thing I see acceptable was me. I sometimes use my credit card to purchase Bitcoin, but that's because I was selling Bitcoin. Even forget about the price. You sell Bitcoin for 10, 20% extra on packs for local Bitcoins, or even to my subscribers where I used to do that. People wanted the Bitcoin anyway. So it's like, okay, cool, 10%, boom. And I sold within a couple hours. So that taking a loan, I'm not saying never take a loan. That's cool. But that was strategic.
Well, that wasn't a gamble or an investment. That was a, what was that? That was a, what should we call that? You were bridging a gap. It was an arbitrage, right? It's just like if you buy product from China and then sell it at a higher price in another country. You were buying it off the exchanges and then selling it on Paxful, was it?
Right.
To people who wanted more convenience or whatever. So there was a service, right? People wanted to buy it. Exactly. And most businesses, there are very few businesses that run debt-free, right? Most businesses are geared in such a way that they are running their business on borrowed money because they're leveraging it. So that's quite normal, you know, because you can scale up quicker or you can provide more service or expand or whatever. I mean, the whole Indahash ICO, the more funding they've got, the faster they can roll this out, you know. And speed is important in business. You know?
So, since I did leave for a little bit of a phone call, we do have the third seat open. Or would you like to join us?
She's in a trance right now.
Oh, would you like?
Yes, of course.
No, it's all good. It's been a busy day for all of us, where it's just a lot of things going on. But we're in that HQ. We thought, why not? Let's invite our CEO here, Barbara. Let's make sure that the camera's all good.
Yes.
Okie dokie. Perfecto. So, how do you feel right now just looking at Etherscan?
I'll keep the chat.
And with the chat?
No, I'll keep the chat open, so I just want to see the shot.
Okay, cool. Cool, no problem. So how do you feel right now looking at Etherscan where it's like approaching $2 million
Let's have a look.
over the past couple of hours? Yeah, so
Refresh.
it's 5,230 Ethereum.
Yes.
How do you feel? Excited, nervous?
No, I'm very satisfied and I'm very excited too because, you know, it's like only a few hours after our pre-ICO went live. So I'm really happy.
Have you done anything like this before, like an ICO fundraiser?
No.
Nothing even similar
My
to
background, my background is in influencer marketing. So not in ICOs. We have advisors, we have people who are experts in ICOs, but it's my first ICO, so I'm really excited
Here's a
about
question:
that.
How did you fund the development in Indahash so far? Right, I know it turned profitable in 6 months or whatever, but how did you fund it from the beginning of Indahash to like the 6 month mark?
Yeah, so at the beginning, we invested our own money, so it was private investment, and then we took a seed round from £1, and we still work with them. So,
but they're happy.
Yes, I think so.
I bet they are happy. That's cool. That's super cool.
Were there any complications over the past couple of hours? Because when we were participating, it was a couple minutes delayed, and we were actually chatting about when you were launching Kexcoin, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there was a couple minutes delayed as well with that. And there's so many things going on with an ICO where even like I was saying, just to run this stream, there's 2 big lights at us right now. We're in a soundproof studio with this wallpaper. We have multiple laptops, multiple microphones. It's sitting on a tripod. I'm not using, unfortunately, the same setup that Chris has been using, but I've learned today. We're going to improve a little bit upon that. So it was like this little device that you switch from tabs, pretty much just to have a YouTube stream. There's multiple different things going on where if you really wanted to, you could have a whole team behind that. So then this is just a stream for an ICO, right? Then you go into like the legal aspect, the financial aspect, what's been going on the past couple of months, and it all leads up to one really, really big moment where, for example, even outside factors, you don't know, maybe Bitcoin could suddenly go to $8,000, or maybe it crashes, boom, right then, $5,000. And what would you do if, let's say, today the news was a little bit different, where a couple hours beforehand, suddenly Bitcoin, Ethereum, all the markets just crash, just everything's dumping? Would you still go through with it?
Yes, of course, because it doesn't depend on me. What we want to do, our mission is to tokenize influencers industry. So there are always ups and downs, but I'm happy that about the news that occurred, because we didn't plan it.
That's cool.
It's crazy. Let's check out the price, because it's been fluctuating over the past hour, just all over the place. So it's sort of stabilized a little bit.
We're into a new hour now. So it ended the hour mostly up the range, but down on the hour. But it's it recovered right back from down here, 7,000. So the market's definitely not having any of that.
Okay.
Right. No. Okay. You bounce right off 7,000. So yeah, it's definitely valued more than that. So there's the moving average there, the 50-period moving average. So that's the average price of the last 50 hours, which is around 7,300. So that looks pretty good as a floor. We'll see what happens.
And we're right now on Coinigy, but you can check out any markets not markets, exchanges you want. Of course, there's been some crazy news, especially with Ethereum. Even just like yesterday, personally, if I was running an ICO, just something as simple as like we had a little dinner last night where there was a bunch of discussions. One of them was about Ethereum. Suddenly, oh no, a couple $100 million lost in Ethereum. Now, of course, that wasn't Ethereum's fault. That was parity. And in addition to parity, there was Ply. What was the ICO called? That's cool. So there was an ICO that was affected. Boom, just lost 60% of their money, which was they raised $140 million.
I thought about that.
Yeah.
Because ICOs typically put their funds in a multi-sig smart contract, and if you're running it on the parity one,
right,
you can't get the money out now. And actually, I'm not quite sure how they're going to fix it, because literally the smart contract has rewritten itself into 3 lines, and there's no withdrawal function. So it's kind of like a safe that's hermetically sealed with no door. So what are you going to do? One of the only ways they could do it is do what they did with the DAO hack, which is hard fork Ethereum and then manually manipulate that smart contract and reinsert the code, which is that's going to cause the same controversy as when Ethereum Classic was born, is that you can't roll back the blockchain. The whole point of it is that it's immutable, right? if a transaction confirmed, it's supposed to be irreversible. So the code in that smart contract that sort of deleted itself, that code ran exactly as it was supposed to, right? The fact that a human programmer made an error, this is the whole debate. Is code law? Can we roll back a blockchain? Some people say yes, some people say no. Ethereum Classic, the whole community says absolutely not, right? That's what it's founded upon. They said, look, if some attacker drained all that money out of the DAO, you've got to keep it, right? Because you can't go back.
Right.
Whereas Ethereum was like, nah, we're gonna roll back all the account balances and basically go back in time. Which I said this morning on the show. If Ethereum has this thing on their website that says creating unstoppable applications, it's not unstoppable if powers that be and Ethereum can just say, let's go back. I don't think it's going to happen this time because Ethereum as an ecosystem is so much further down in development than it was when the DAO thing happened. It's just going to be, in my opinion, impossible to hard fork it and do that. It's just, I just don't think the market will take it this time, you know. So I think if that's true, it means that $300 million of Ether is now burnt effectively.
Gone. Hundreds of thousands of Ethereum. So now let's say with the ICO, let's say it's finished. You're in the period where you have millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars. What are these safety concerns immediately as soon as you have that? And how would you prepare for, let's say, anything like this where it's even out of your control? Because of course we're not, I don't know the exact technical. You're a businesswoman, so you're not.
I'm also not a technical person.
You're not too sure about the exact technicals, the technicalities behind this. But let's say you have $20 million. Do you keep it in Ethereum? Do you move a little bit into Bitcoin? Do you have this little plan that's like, oh, okay, we cut it up? Where would the funds go?
Well, we have exact plan how we want to how we want to assign the funds for our development. So our plan is to develop the product and also make rollouts on new markets and educate our influencers. So this is actually our plan. This is how we want to use the ethers we are raising right now.
Right. So it's fully staying 100% in Ether.
I think so.
Okay. And now you had a choice with when did the coin development begin actually?
Well, we want to implement the Indahash coins in the app by the end of first quarter next year. So by March.
Okay.
2018.
And it's all being developed right now. Currently, it's been going on for quite some time, I'm sure.
I think it's also quite fast.
With the development team here?
Yeah.
Has there been any significant issues over the past couple of weeks that stick out in your mind? Like, oh, there was that one incident that thankfully we avoided.
No, I don't think
No,
so.
it's all good.
Yeah, it's all good. It was quite smooth also today.
So now reaching into it, a lot of people from the office are currently gone. What if something happened right now where the website goes down? Suddenly a server goes down. Are there backups? Are there other offices online currently? Or?
Of course. We are quite big company.
Right.
We have over 300,000 influencers. We have a big team. So we have a lot of backups so that everything works properly.
Okay. And earlier we were actually discussing, I think while you were out of the room, or on Chris's channel, where with the application, a lot of people were kind of curious about this. What do you think about all the bad reviews? That there's hundreds of bad reviews where it's like, this function is not working. These campaigns are expired, this and that. And some of these people have decent amount of following, where it's like 20,000 subscribers. They've been using the app for months.
It's not about the number of followers you have. So on one hand, there is for sure some feedback. But on the other hand, there are many people who who didn't go through the verification process. Because once someone downloads the app, then they go through the verification process, which means that they have to have engagement rate on the decent level. And we benchmark that, we check it. We also check the quality of the content. So many people who downloaded the app, they didn't go through the verification process. This is one thing. And it makes people angry very often.
Right.
Another thing is that our advertisers always choose the target group. So not always you're in a target group of currently ongoing campaigns, because let's say probably you wouldn't be in the target group of many beauty campaigns that are running.
Right.
So sometimes you have more campaigns, sometimes less, sometimes even zero, because you're too big, too small, or too young, too old, and so on and so forth. So there are many reasons that can make you having a lot of campaigns to choose from, or at some point also right now, for example, there's no campaign for you.
No campaign. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Interesting.
You're not always in the target group.
Right.
This is one thing. Another thing is the verification process and engagement rates, because we don't look only at the number of followers. Because you're saying 20,000 followers. Yeah, it's cool, but it's not everything. Also, engagement rate matters. So how active your audience is, how engaged they are.
Now, with the growth, because earlier we were talking about growth charts, and we explained the y-axis and the x-axis difference. It's approaching 400,000 influencers now. Do you think with exponential growth, it could hit possibly 1 million influencers before the coin rolls up?
We will see. We grew, comparing to last year, it's over 300% growth in terms of number of influencers. But we will see what would be the next growth. It depends also on the new markets and so on. But it grows every day, and you can check it on our website, because you can see it actually live.
Okay. And with the growth, where do you think that's mostly coming from? Is it due to the marketing efforts? They're constantly going full out, or is it any outside efforts with the application and app stores?
There is also word of mouth. So people are talking and recommending app. There are new markets, there are developed markets when influencers are talking to each other, new markets when we promote it. Also, it depends. So,
right. Now, I had an actual friend talk with me the other day about this. So with the application for this as a company, one of the main things is the brands that are coming in. Why should a company care about, let's say, Indahash coin when they're maybe even not fans of the cryptocurrency world? Now, of course, they have the option here that they're able to either use Indahash coins or money. But if the brands don't care about that, and let's say you can't convince Coca-Cola or Lipton or these big brands, they're just like, oh, okay, we're going to be using cash, then doesn't that slowly develop into something that as more brands continue on?
No, actually, it doesn't matter, because if the brand chooses fiat, not Indahash coin, then we are exchanging it for Indahash coins.
It's a good point. So
this is important point, that we can give influencers Indahash coins, and brand doesn't have to pay in Indahash coins.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's actually 3 different relationships that are one-to-one. There's brand, and then influencer with Indahash in the middle. Then there's the influencer and their audience, right? So going back to the model, this is the point we're talking about here. If we zoom in just a little bit. So here, say if the brand pays in dollars, right? Indahash have those dollars.
Okay.
So when it comes to paying the influencer, they can just go to the exchange, buy the coins, and then give them to the influencer.
And
right?
we do it. It's entire buyback program.
Right, exactly.
So it doesn't matter.
There'll always be some brands that always pay in dollars, right? Which means there'll always be some liquidity in Indahash's bank account to buy from the exchanges, which almost guarantees some level of demand for the coin from the exchanges. So there'll always be a buy side, because Indahash will be buying them to pay the influencers with. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So with the buyback program, one of the things that makes this ICO stand out, like seriously, this is one of the few ICOs I've heard of, if not the only one, that doesn't have any coins. And do you know of any ICOs that don't have any coins?
So specifically, the Indahash company is not retaining any of the coins for themselves. Yeah. That's a first for me. I have honestly never heard of that before. And the reason that ICOs have to do that is because it's the only way they get paid. And because Indahash is already a company with an existing revenue model, this is just a fundraiser to expand what they're doing. So
there was some negative comments upon that, though. I was checking out Bitcoin Talk, and of course, there's always going to be feedback from both sides. But with this, on one hand, that's good. But on the other, it's like, okay, so you are an established company and everything's growing, but let's say there's some bad times. Don't you, with the buyback program, that's going to take time. a lot of people think that, or at least these fair comments thought, okay, if there's a 0% stake at all, then the first couple months while it's still rolling out, that gives you less motivation.
It's right. Okay, that's a good point. So the question is, what's Indahash's incentive to make the coin valuable? That is a good question. What is the answer to that question?
And we have a lot of incentives for our influencers to use Indahash coin, because first of all, they would get at least 20% more
money, right?
Than if they are paid in fiat.
Mm-hmm.
And now they have to wait from 30 to 60 days to be paid for the campaign. And choosing Indahash coin, they would be able to take it immediately.
Right.
So there are two main benefits for them. And another thing is that they would be able to build their own tokens based on Indahash coin to reward the audience. And another thing is our system called Pay with Fame, so that they would be able to get early access, exclusive access, and discounts from brands. So there are a lot of benefits from using Indahash coins for them.
Do you think, though, that...
And also, sorry to
No, it's all good.
you,
It's all good.
But as we're an established company, we have recurring clients, many campaigns. So it's not that we promise we will try to attract clients. We already have them. This is also the big difference.
Did you lose any clients due to the fact, or did you receive any responses when you first came out and were like, okay, we're going to do an ICO, we're getting involved with cryptocurrency? Did some clients reach out and they're like,
scare anybody off?
Yeah.
That's an interesting question.
No, people were asking. People were very interested. But the main concern, actually, there was very positive feedback. People were asking clients were asking if they would be able still to pay in fiat, but as they would be.
Right. I thought you might be switching entirely.
So it's not a big thing for them, and they perceive it as a positive thing, so that we're entering a new space, giving more opportunities, and giving also more benefits to influencers, and also more benefits to brands, because they would be able to conduct different campaigns. Besides what they do right now, they would be also able to give discounts, to give early access, exclusive access for influencers. And they were really interested in Pay with Fame too. So the feedback was really good.
So Mike, where are we right now? Are we in Toronto or Vancouver?
Well, I'm heading out to Toronto next week, but we're a little bit far away from that. We're in Poland. We're in Warsaw. So actually, James, Chris, do you think we should let's go into James's comment here, because it's always interesting whenever there's some hate. Why you guys, first of all, the grammar fantastic, but why are you guys wasting your time with this scam? Okay, so why would we be wasting our time with something that's going to clearly destroy our reputation, right?
Oh, I love destroying my reputation. How about you?
Yeah, perfect.
That's my favorite thing to do.
Oh my goodness. Well, okay, here's the thing. Just the fact to come here, Chris was actually chatting that it's like a 3-day review process for him to participate with an ICO, because if you're here, like, sure, we're normal people that, like, whatever, we film from cameras and you're able to do it too, but then again, in order to get somewhere, like, if you had a YouTube channel and you're just like, oh, okay, ICO, every single video sponsored, every single one, boom, and one fails completely and your viewers invested in that, and then they're like, oh, hey, we just lost like 50% of our money, you know, but that's okay, we'll invest in this next one. No, that's not how it works. They're gonna hunt you down for days. I mean, even if you're the nicest person on YouTube, sometimes you get such hate for just
being too nice.
Being too nice. You're too nice. I don't like what you're wearing. I don't like the wall. I just don't like you at all today. So it's like, it's crazy. They will hate you for whatever reason. So if you're purposely, maybe not purposely, but you're trying to sell out and you think something is a scam, or even if you do it unconsciously where you're just like, oh, I don't know about this, but I'm not going to research it at all, then that's just stupid. I'm sorry to say this, but we're not going to put ourselves in that situation where it's like, oh, okay, you know, whatever. Because creating a YouTube channel maybe isn't that difficult. Getting subscribers is more difficult, but once you get to a certain point, it's like our faces are here. You know, if we delete our channels, it's not like, okay, let's restart, boom, clean slate.
That is a good point. Like, it's like moving to a different city and people don't know you. the internet is kind of like its own little country,
Right.
And you can't escape. So, you know, your videos are there forever. People could download them, repost them. Once something's on the internet, it stays there. So you got to be careful.
So, James, while we're here, it's like usually there's multiple steps to review a company you work with. And this is for any brand. I mean, we're talking about influencers.
Yeah, of course.
So I'm sure a lot of the people that use your application, the first time they use it, do you actually get a lot of feedback from like, oh, this is the first time I work with a company? What are the typical responses that you see from that?
For many people, so for many micro and mid-tier influencers, it was like first opportunity to work with a brand because they were just too small to be approached by brands directly. It's not like with you guys. The brands are sending you emails and so on. So for many people, it was their first time to do the campaign for a brand. So many people were mentioning that because for big YouTubers, for big influencers, there are a lot of opportunities, but for micro and mid-tier, there's a technology needed to put them all together and give brand enough reach.
And like we were saying earlier, make it cheap enough to administer, just so that there's no paperwork,
and fast
right?
enough.
And fast enough, right? Exactly. So that's cool.
So at the end of the day, efficient.
Someone's asking, does Indahash have a Steemit account?
Does it?
I'm not sure right now. I think that we're planning that, but right now we don't have.
Okay. Also, that question comes up again, Mike, about on page 9, there's no y-axis on the sales.
James. Oh, okay. So
Jack.
No, but he's referring to James's question.
Oh, big one. Okay.
Thanks, Jack, by the way, for moderating and all that. But James, valid question. We were discussing it on Chris's channel, but just to wrap it up quickly. Being a company, being an ICO, there's a lot of different things you have to manage. And unfortunately, it's like being honest on the internet is good. However, even for a YouTuber, if you're too honest, everything, 100%, you give away all the details, there are people who will take advantage of that. And then there's security leaks. So your competition will, you know, unfortunately cause you to lose money.
Interesting. So let's just go abstract up a little bit. This is a criticism against the idea of an open public blockchain. So some companies wouldn't transact with Bitcoin because they don't want their competitors auditing the in and outflow of currency into their business. So that's where privacy coins and why privacy is valuable, right? Because there are certain proprietary things in business that you shouldn't be transparent about for the sake of the business. You know what I'm saying? And suppose sales is one of the big ones, you know, because that's what your competitors want to know. Because if they can reverse engineer it, then you don't want to be creating competition for yourself, right?
Right. And oh boy, I'm just gonna ban Jack. Can you ban anybody? Or the moderators, can you ban anybody that's going to be pumping any coins? Because if you guys listen to me or Chris or Ian who's in the room, we got back, boom, or anybody who's got a YouTube channel talking about cryptocurrencies and they're like, oh, boom, buy, let's say, XYZ123 coin, and you do it immediately, boom, and that's stupid. But something a little bit more silly than that is looking at a comment, just one comment in the section of a live stream that I don't know even if he's a subscriber. Maybe this is the first time he's ever been on it. You can't only time out that boom, we got it. See ya. Thanks,
by
Jack.
the way, Barbara, your accent's getting some love right now.
Oh, there you go. With that, we're in Poland, and anybody. So there's a lot of. I actually kind of want to address that because when I moved over here, a lot of people, it's like coming from America, a lot of interesting individuals like to make fun of accents over there, where it's a melting pot. And to me, that's one of the most disrespectful things out there because it's like when you try and learn your second, third, fourth, fifth language, I have sometimes difficulty speaking in Polish. Like I'm fluent in Polish, but it's just sometimes, oh, okay, I have to think about that. Or, you know, when I tried learning German or French, people make fun of my accents over there. There's no comparisons. So it's like, especially on the internet here, you don't really have, you have that a lot because with just anything, you know, maybe the way Masood.
Sorry, man, I got to interrupt you right now. Someone says, I don't want the cafe that I buy from to know my net worth. You know, because you could reveal the balance in your wallet. It's kind of funny.
See, I actually was worried about this. The first time I got a transaction over $1,000 was here with Bitcoin in Poland, and I was on the bus. And I saw the camera from the bus, and I was like, what if someone, because the camera's right there. Wow. So I shut down my phone, and I was like, I'm not going to touch it, because it all just said, oh, you received Bitcoin. I'm not going to open it. And I didn't go to a cafe or to my house, you know, nice and safe and secure. I mean, even with this, I tape my camera up. I'm a little bit paranoid and stuff, but you have to think about certain things.
That's not paranoid, mate. We know why.
We know, yeah,
right, so
NSA and all that.
That's another story, but
there's always people watching. So with this, it's like, is a cafe network owner, especially here in Poland, probably going to be like, aha, Bitcoin, gotcha. No, probably not. But in certain areas, if you're going to a Starbucks near Silicon Valley, where, you know, there's a lot of high net worth individuals out there, and seems like a pretty cool upscale place, maybe, who knows, if there's some evil people out there, yeah, they could be monitoring everything. Where even with this is an interesting experiment. So I had a website, and no, it's cool. There was a lot of, actually, two things. So did you hear about Pirate Bay and Monero?
Yes, the browser mining thing. Yeah, man.
It's crazy. So
clever idea.
It is very clever, but when it came out, people were like,
"You could have told me."
Right.
At least tell me what you're doing. And actually, they said they meant to design the script so it needed 30% of your CPU capacity, and it had been 100%. So, like, you know, people's fans were wearing up like, "What's going on to my computer?" So it grind to a halt. So that was a bug in the script. But anyway, carry on, mate. So I did hear about that.
It's crazy. And with that, actually, there's somebody who emailed me with the mining, hive mining. Yeah. Someone said that they were a computer person. They were like fixing computers or whatever. And they had a contract that they told their clients about. Oh, okay, just look over this contract. Pretty much what it said was, he sent me pictures of this because I didn't believe him. I was like, well, what do you mean? He sent me a contract where it said, if you sign this contract, pretty much you allow us to mine on your computer forever. That's it. And that it was just like straight up. And he had multiple signatures. Now, of course, that's not a lot of money, but it's something where it's like people just, oh, whatever. Okay, you're fixing up my computer.
Repair guy.
Right.
That's crazy.
Right. And he was just doing, not for the money. He was just like, are people actually going to sign this? Of course they are. Of course they are.
They're just like, don't know what you're talking about.
Right. And even, let's say I own a website, or somebody goes to CryptoVerse, if you really wanted to, any website owner, boom, you know, the emails, if you really wanted to, you have this nice little landing page that's like, hey, insert your email here if you want to learn more about Bitcoin. You get the emails. Then you get the IP tracking, because you can set it up so the website knows exactly which location you're coming from. Then you get some other information. Let's say you have YouTube or social media connected, and it's like, hey, okay, so this email, you match it up, or it's public information. You match it up to the name, and then it goes on this weird little rabbit hole where it's like, oh boy.
I learned about this from Brendan Ike, who created the basic attention token, also the creator of JavaScript. He calls it fingerprinting, because he created the Brave browser, right, which has this fingerprinting protection thing. And I'm like, what the hell's fingerprinting, right? And he's like, well, basically what you do, you can take loads of what seem like innocent data points, screen resolution, operating system, time on page, and it doesn't look like much as an individual data piece, but if you can put together that information from me for like all of these things and put it together, that creates a fingerprint. And then you can actually follow that fingerprint around the web because you look for commonalities in the data sets. So that's well spooky. Even if you're running a VPN, for example, you can still identify someone by their like browser fingerprint and stuff like that, which is, that was a mind blower for me. So
let's refresh that and see how that's going.
Where we're at right now.
And on that, on data, on collecting data and privacy, while signing up for your app, there's two little checkpoints. The first one was like, yes, I accept. The second one, I forgot what it was, but it was, of course, the longer legalese one, which was like, am I handing over a lot of my data here, where I pretty much had to log into my Instagram, right? What does Indahash do with all those logins, all the emails, all the data it collects from 360,000 influencers?
So everything is kept very safe. We have to we have to collect some data,
right?
Because it's just impossible not to do it and operate the business. but we use it only for our internal usage to manage the business, nothing more.
Are there, I'm sure there's safety measures to prevent, because even if a company doesn't want to do anything to manipulate the data, what if there was a hacker? Are there security measures in place with that much data?
We pay a lot of attention to security, so everything is really secured.
Okay.
This is important value, and we don't want anyhow to spoil the trust that influencers have to us.
Reputation is extremely important.
This question is going up again about the reviews on the App Store.
Richard, can you scroll up a little bit, because Richard, I think, was asking about dodging the question. Yeah, let's scroll up. Why does your app not work? Okay, Richard, listen. So with the reviews, I think Richard's a nice little troll here. Could you give us exact details? And if you do, then we'll go into it. But let's check the price. So what was the price of Indahash?
Indahash? You mean the crowdfund thing?
Ah, cool. 5,401.
So we're shooting for 8,928.
8,928.
Cap, right?
So we're more than
halfway there, man.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Just okay, you're gonna log in. Have you registered with the app? Okay, cool.
I did it during my review, so I'll just get my password out here. And then
all right, cool, no problem.
See if it works.
I was kind of curious because you hold a lot of Bitcoin, I'm guessing, right?
Some.
A decent amount. Are you affected by news, for example, like today, what's happened up with SegWit? Do you have an advisor with the Bitcoin? Do you decide yourself, or?
No, I decide myself. I don't feel expert. I'm happy about the news, of course. So I'm holding.
You're holding. All right. All right. Are there any other coins that you believe in, or any other projects that you were kind of interested, that maybe inspired?
Of course, I participated in some ICOs. I also bought some altcoins. I also have some Ethers, but I don't feel an expert. So I could advise people. I guess that you guys have more expertise on that, and it's your job to show people interesting possibilities on the market.
Right.
Barbecue pulled chicken campaign in the UK. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, cool.
Nice.
Oh, so that's interesting. You get immediately English ads.
It's geo-targeted, so it knows these brands want to target.
Okay. Because you're registered in UK.
Yeah.
That's why you have British campaigns.
So we've got Hotel Indigo, recruitment for this event.
And can you turn up the brightness and show it to the camera here?
Yes, absolutely.
So we're on the app right now. Chris is on the app. He's scrolling through. For the people who are kind of curious.
Let me turn down.
Okay. He's scrolling through the app. It's working. He's got some campaigns already that are geo-targeted with him.
And he's also in the target group of those campaigns, because it doesn't mean that everyone would see the same campaigns.
Right.
Some people maybe wouldn't see these campaigns. Maybe they would see another campaigns. It depends.
Because it asks like gender, date of birth, because that's important for the actual brands, right? Yeah.
So you have these campaigns, and probably some of the campaigns you don't see because you're not in the target.
Right. Well, this is different from last time I logged in. So
of course.
Yeah, man.
Because
what we got. Fashion event. This says a lot about me. Let's see what we got here. California Wellness Walnuts, Hotel Indigo in London. Okay.
And you hooked up your Instagram account, right? With is it crypto related, or is it just a personal?
I haven't posted a lot on there, but I think the stuff I have posted is crypto related. So yeah, content creation for gym screens. Okay, interesting. I like the pulled chicken, the barbecue chicken one. Taste of America campaign. Let me have a look at that one. That looks interesting. That's an Instagram job. So, oh, I need to verify my Instagram account. I haven't done that yet. So you have to verify I'm the owner of it. I need to do that thing, but I will do that. I just want to see the details of that. Clear channel. Heineken.
Did LifeTube have any applications before? Because Indahash has been around since 2016. Barbara over here. If you want, you can check out the Forbes versions. It's in Polish, but you can easily Google Translate, which the Google Translate wasn't the best, because I actually showed it to my friend, and it's not she. It was like he started all throughout the article, which is interesting. But okay, whatever. So you ran a YouTube network company before, which was called LifeTube, and that was from 2013, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
I co-founded it.
Okay. So did that have any application of any sort like this, or what did the network really rely on?
It was different business models. So the network was doing managerial services for biggest YouTubers. So it's not based on app. It's more like working on the daily basis with big influencers.
Okay. So it's kind of like, because the way I see networks, since I've been on YouTube for the past couple of years, I used to work with networks, and I remember I wanted to be so badly a part of Machinima. Do you know who Machinima is?
Yes, of course, but it's completely not comparable to what LiveTube was and is offering, because it's like I guess you didn't have like managerial services. It was more like account optimization,
Right.
I guess.
Right.
So it's a different scope, because LiveTube was working more like talent agency, working with influencers and making partnerships between influencers and brands. So different stuff.
A lot of you guys might be wondering, well, I clicked onto this live stream about Bitcoin, but why should I care about marketing or business or YouTube or any of that? Well, if you're sitting online for long enough, it all starts to click together where you're able to earn a decent amount of chunk of change. And if you're not interested in that, well, that's fine, because it's not for everyone. However, I'm sure there's a fair amount of people out there who are able to learn a decent amount from this. And that's always good, because education leads to more money. And with crypto, YouTube, if you look at the past, you're able to learn a lot from it, where YouTube, honestly, it's going down the drain. Hopefully they fix their stuff, but well, no, because with advertisements, every single year it's been dropping. The CPMs and the RPMs have been dropping.
And YouTube operating at a loss.
That's right.
Crazy. And they want to demonetize me.
Right.
What sense does that make?
They don't want to demonetize you or me. They want to demonetize even their largest creators, everybody. They're just like, oh, whatever. Which they had a canned response to Casey Neistat, where Casey Neistat was one of the largest influencers on YouTube, and he had this tweet which was like, hey, YouTube, fix your, he was a little angry because they started limiting his videos, where if you limit a video that has 6 million views, that can be anywhere from $6,000 to $20,000 to $30,000 just lost, just like that. And if you demonetize multiple of those videos, well, you're talking about where there was other people, not Casey Neistat, but when they have a team and they need to pay their team. So it's not just that, oh, he has so much money, he's a millionaire. That doesn't really matter. When you talk about like Philip DeFranco, for example, where you have a camera guy, you have an editor, you have a team that for the past couple of years has relied, okay, he makes this and this amount of money. Some of these creators are going out of their pocket to sustain what's been going on. It's not like, oh, sorry, you're fired, because they need that person, or they could, but then the quality declines, which at that point, it's like the creator, do I stay here? Do I move on to another network? Do I use Patreon? Do I start investing in these other projects? And YouTube's just been going down the drain recently, which is interesting, because with influencer campaigns, this market is growing big, where, I don't know, just thanks to cryptocurrencies. Like, honestly, Kubera has only been around for the past couple of months, but I already see a lot more motivation. It's like money shouldn't be the primary motivation, but you're really, really, really demotivated when like everything is thrown against you. Even more so than the money, I hate that my content on my other channel isn't optimized as well, where it's just YouTube does everything possible to make sure that the videos rank lower than other kid-friendly, adult, advertiser-friendly. But what is advertiser-friendly? What is kid-friendly? Not every single video gets watched through. And then YouTube's just been going through a bunch of stuff. We're grateful to be here on the platform, but the future is definitely interesting. So it's always, you never know. YouTube might be gone in the next 2 years. Maybe DTube, probably not. But there could be another YouTube coming up. There could be another Facebook, another social media platform where it's interesting with cryptocurrencies, with virtual reality, with nootropics, with all these new industries coming out that are worth billions of dollars, hundreds of billions. Some of them definitely got to watch out for what you're investing in.
Check this funny tweet out. So from this Twitter account called YouTube Honesty, what does it say?
Hi, Chris. We're sorry you're unable to create the kind of content we need on the platform. Please make videos about bunnies and turtles.
So that was in response to my complaint about yet another one of my videos about fine art on the blockchain got demonetized. I'm like, how dumb is their AI?
Right.
It was an interview with this guy Marcelo, who's putting fine art on the Ethereum blockchain. I'm like, what about that did your bot think was advertiser unfriendly? So I'm having to appeal probably like 50% of my videos now, which is just insane.
And you're a normal, friendly content channel.
Right, man. Yeah.
Ian, do you monetize your channel through AdSense?
I do, yeah.
Do you have experience with the limited? Do you also get the same problems?
With the what?
The monetization limits?
I mean, well, YouTube to me is not really a place to monetize, right? So I don't care about how much money I make on their AdSense because it's chump change.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
it is. But do you still get the videos flagged and
Yeah,
demonetized?
yeah.
Okay.
I think typically like once a week I'll go in there just like select all, contest all.
Right.
Appeal.
Yeah.
Right. So we have 3 influencers in this room who are, okay, maybe on my other channel it's not the most kid friendly, but with this one I try and make it where we're not swearing, we're trying to make it the best as possible. But of course, probably this live stream even will get demonetized just like that, boom, just for certain keywords. So anyway,
just to add on to that,
right.
I think it's mainly live streams, especially for me. Live streams,
really?
I think because they can't go through the content
Yes.
quickly.
True.
Okay.
So I think it just defaults to
boom, see ya.
flagging it.
Huh.
Yeah, maybe you want to join, and I will.
I'm good.
Okay.
He's
Okay.
burnt out. He's burnt out right now.
So let's see, how long have we been going for? I don't know.
So who's the lady in the shot?
Who's the lady in the shot? This is the CEO of the company that we're filming at, Indahash. Now, some people get really upset whenever it's like sponsored stuff, but again, the reason all of us are here, the influencers, we're actually, it's business, because it's not like, oh, companies are going to go away, influencers are going to go away, advertisements going to go away. If you have an influencer, okay, maybe I shouldn't use that term because then it makes it seem like I'm inhuman, robotic, right? Some people get turned off by that. So seriously, if you like anybody on YouTube, anybody on Instagram, they kind of need to make money in order, most of them need to make money in order to continue doing the content that they are, because they're focusing a lot of time and energy on that. It's like when I started going to 2 schools at the same time, I saw my quality just decrease a lot. And if I decided, oh, let me work at Starbucks or something right now, whatever, then there have been YouTubers that their channels, boom, just dropped off the map just like that. You would never see your content creator again. Thanks to, especially when you have a lot of these monetization problems and YouTube's kind of, so you have to look at the changing environment in business, and you have to start working with companies. So even just the influencer industry, if we really want to look at it, we're influencers right now working with a company that we support. If we didn't support it, well, we could still work with them if we really wanted the money. But then if the project would fail, then our reputation, boom, which long term, you always have to, even if you're only in it for the money, long term, you will earn more money if it's an honest relationship.
Now that feels counterintuitive, right? But it's not. It's there's a correlation, a direct correlation between the ability to defer gratification and long-term life success, right? It's that marshmallow test. If you've ever read that book, Influence, Cialdini, right?
Yes.
It's the marshmallow test. They got the 5-year-olds and they said, look, marshmallow on the table, right? You can eat the marshmallow right now, or you can wait 15 minutes and have 2 marshmallows, right? So that was it, free choice. Tested a load of kids, the kids that took the 1 marshmallow versus the kids that thought, oh, I'll wait for the 2. The kids that could defer gratification when they followed up the study many, many years later, across the board, their life outcomes were above and beyond education, fewer drug problems, greater incomes, more successful marriages across the board. So that trait of being able to defer gratification and not thinking about the moment is one of the secrets to success in anything. And in the influencer business, that has to be the master skill, right? Can you keep it consistent and maintain integrity, and then you'll do well in this industry.
By the way, there's also a book, Marshmallow Test.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
There's actual book on it.
Yeah, we even have it in our company because we have a project called Book Club, so that each of our team members can order a book, and we as the company were ordering that. And yeah, I will check it out. Maybe we have some more, so I will give it to you. It's amazing book.
Nice one. That's cool. So where did that come from? Because that links back to what you were saying about, oh yes, we have to be careful who we associate ourselves with. And I suppose you guys have to as well, right? If you associate with the wrong influencer and they go rogue, that's not good for you either, is it? You know.
That's why I mentioned we have this verification process.
Right. Now, I mean, with us, if I decide to turn evil now we're publicly associated. Not good for you, is it? So it's two-way street, you know.
Well, it's not even that, but let's say if we really wanted to, let's say the company paid in Bitcoin straight up front. I could take that Bitcoin, boom, gone, see ya. If you really wanted to, you could. And if it's a large enough deal, let's say somebody's goal is I don't know, a Rolex. That's it. That's all they want in life. A Rolex Submariner. A company offers you suddenly $50,000. Now that it seems crazy, but some of the top crypto YouTubers, I don't know, personally, I've never had anything close to that, but some of the top crypto YouTubers or top YouTubers out there can get paid $50,000 for a video, or a celebrity. You know, Kim Kardashian makes millions of dollars off of like one little tweet, one Instagram.
Exactly.
So if you really wanted to, boom, just like that, you can reputation destroyed, suddenly a lot of money. And it's just like, okay, well, what do we do now? Do we waste our time with this thing? Do we waste more money trying to track this down, especially if it's international at that point? But that actually would be the most likely the best case scenario, because what if you have a large influencer that comes in and decides, I'm going to take the money and just completely destroy this opportunity, just go full out, because why not? We're evil. So it's interesting. You do have, it happens very rarely, but you do have weird cases. So there's always interesting stuff. Bitcoin has peaked.
Why do you have giant hands? Let's look at the size of your hand versus my head. Yes, they are
boy.
big. See the big hand or small head? Not quite sure why that happened. It's that's an X-Men mutation right there.
Why, Donald, you have such beautiful hands. Oh, yes. Guten Abend, ja. My German, my German's, no, we're not. I was thinking about it, but I was like, nope. Why does Kubera look like he is the master scammer? Oh, pretty rich.
By that you mean well-dressed.
Kubera is a Kaiser Soze. You spelled Soze though wrong. Oh my goodness. So anyways, I thought, since this is an interesting opportunity, we have some entrepreneurs in the same room, cryptocurrencies, marketing, YouTube business, whatever it is. If you're watching this channel, you're probably interested in money, probably interested in entrepreneurship. And there's always a lot of BS in that, where it's like, oh, okay, so there's some rich people out there. They're going to sell you some books. They're going to sell you some information, whatever. But, oh, even Ty Lopez right there. A lot of people thought BS. Where actually, let's refresh that page, because I'm kind of curious.
You want to see the views?
Yeah, I'm always curious about this. So Ty Lopez associated himself with an ICO here. And this is an interesting reaction that we're going to see. How many?
Slow take-up.
Wow. So
really slow.
657 views within the past 2-3 hours. He's got 1 million subscribers.
Wow.
1 million subscribers.
Yeah.
And his other videos have like 6,000 views, 10,000, 13,000.
Especially the most recent ones, which is really fascinating to me. Should we interrogate his channel? Check this out.
Would you invest in such an interesting influencer here? He's got 1 million subscribers. Whoa. But the engagement's really
let's have a look here. If I just zoom back out here a minute. So we zoomed in for the chat. Right. So check out his numbers.
I don't know the channel, but in general, besides reach, there's also engagement and content.
Yeah.
Have you seen them before though? With the advertisements on YouTube ever?
Yeah, I know it, but not as well, so well that I can, judge it.
So look, 98% of his engagements on YouTube, everything's happened on YouTube except for 2 likes on Facebook. Because he's got a decent SEO score.
Yeah, good SEO. Which a lot of people miss out on the simple things.
Whoa, he's topping. Well, so it's obviously something more recently he's doing wrong, because he's clocked 4.7 million views in the last 30 days. Isn't half bad, is it?
That's probably on his older videos. Do you
use
Social Blade ever?
It's up 300% on the previous 30 days.
Do you use Social Blade?
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's always about learning as much as you can. And before we wrap this up, we're going to check out some prices again. But there was one interesting thing I wanted to chat about. What are the best, what's the best advice you can give? Now, this can be one thing or it can be multiple things, but I just kind of wanted to go through that for somebody who wants to be an entrepreneur, crypto investor, whatever it is in the business world. What's the best thing you've learned, Barb?
Well, I think that the best thing I learned is that you have to keep doing things. because it's easy to give up, and there's always worst case scenario and best case scenario, and it's good to be prepared for the worst but expect the best. And pushing things forward.
Right. Persistence is extremely important. Now, were there ever times in your life that you were close to giving up on something, and had you done it, it's like, oof, you would have extremely regretted it, or maybe you have actually had such moments?
I didn't think so. Well, always you have a moment that you think, oh no, there's so much work to be done. There's so many things happen. Sometimes something doesn't go in accordance to my plan, but I still, I always keep doing.
Right, right. And with that, it's like, it's all about putting yourself in the right place at the right time. Sometimes, I don't know, some people don't believe in luck. I try not to, but there might be a little bit of luck out there where, 364 out of 365 days, something's not going to work out. There's no opportunities. Everything's doing a crap. But there's that one day where it's like, okay, finally, there's an opportunity that hits you. And if you're not prepared for it, sorry, the other person will take it. There's always somebody who's hungrier out there in this room or out there in the world. Boom, they got it because they were prepared for it. So it's all about persistence, going full out. That was good. What about your advice?
My problem historically was the opposite of what you just said. So you said, were there times when you felt like quitting and you didn't, and you thought, wow, I'm glad I didn't quit? My biggest problem for probably the first, all the years that I had my marketing agency, that was probably when I had the toughest time. And it was because I didn't know when to quit, okay? Because I'd got it into my head, I'd mischaracterized the idea of persistence into sticking to the same strategy. Persistence means never giving up on the goal, but it says nothing about, it's okay to change lanes, right? If the method you're using isn't producing the results, feel free to get rid of it and try something else. But the persistence thing is, don't give up on the goal. Give up on the method. That's the bit I didn't get. So, because in my mind, I'm like, the methods I was using were not working, i.e. they were not producing the results, they were not moving me towards the goal. However, because I got it screwed up in my belief system about persistence, never give up, I wasn't even allowing myself to quit the method. So I was literally on the treadmill, not making any progress, but my belief in persistence, the way I understood it, wouldn't even let me step off the treadmill. It wasn't actually going anywhere. So the biggest lesson I've learned is that balancing between or reassigning persistence to the goal and the mission, which is the overarching thing you never let go of. I think it was probably around about the time I wrote my personal mission statement, which then becomes the governing principle for my life. That's now how I make decisions. So if I'm using a method nowadays and it's not moving me very quickly towards accomplishing the mission, I'm free to reject that now, because I've got the certainty that the mission is there. As long as I'm always sailing towards that island, right? I might get blown this way or that way, but I don't fear giving up on the method, because I know I'll just carry on moving in that direction ultimately. You know what I'm saying?
So earlier, maybe it was on this stream or the other, where you were talking about the sawing and just going full out. If you're just going straight and the saw starts to lose its edges, its teeth, then sure, I guess you could cut the tree eventually, but it slows down, or you might get stuck in the middle, where if you just took the 10 minutes or whatever to like, oh, okay, let's change it up a little bit.
And it would get to the point where it would be so blunt that it would take you years to even saw an inch off of it, because it would just be friction at that point. It wouldn't be cutting it at all, which said that was me. That was the old me. It was like the value around the work, like just put the work in, it'll be okay. Well, misapplied energy is not going to get you anywhere. You know what I mean? So that was a hard lesson to learn. So the question you asked about what's like the key trait that you would need to develop or understand to be successful as an entrepreneur, for me, it would be to understand that you are the greatest asset, right? It's not the product, it's not the business, it's not the idea, it's not the business plan, it's none of that. I wouldn't say it's even your team. That comes after the fact that you are your greatest asset. So Jim Rohn taught me this: work harder on yourself than you do anything else. Because like that 80-20 thing, if you're the one doing the doing and you're all messed up inside, you're going to be doing things messed up inside, right? And that's gonna seep into everything that you do. You might snap at a team member or spell something wrong that has a critical flaw in the code or something like that, which is why I've nowadays rebalanced the amount of work that I put in actually working, and reassigning some of those hours to developing myself, right? Because that pays dividends in the other 8 hours or 6 hours a day that you work, you know what I mean? Like sharpening the saw. It's just like that. So I make sure I'm checking the saw. Actually, I just sharpen every day just for the hell of it.
All right.
Just to make sure when I start sawing, it's as sharp as it possibly can be.
Prepared.
Right.
It's good.
Don't discount you as the most important asset. And the more you work on that, just naturally, you can't help but get better results.
See, a lot of people already start to put themselves in this negative perspective where it's like they don't realize their true value, or they're just like, oh, I don't know.
That was my biggest problem.
Yeah, it's interesting because there's a lot of these people where it's like, even if you're 30, 40, 50, 60 years old, the older you get, the worse it gets, because when you start realizing certain things, you're afraid at that point. It's like, oh, okay, wow, I wasted so much time. I still don't really know what I want to do. And then your value kind of starts to lower itself. A lot of people are like, oh, okay, I'm going to work hard every single day. Boom, that's it. And I'm going to get rich. Well, most likely you're not. Just there's certain things. You break your leg, there's a lawyer, there's some random crazy stuff in the family.
It's just as simple as saying, if I keep running on the treadmill long enough, I'll get to the destination, which you never
Right.
will, right? You know, because you're standing still. Essentially, it feels like you're doing work, you know, and your whole body's like, yeah, I'm making progress, but you're just not moving anywhere. And that's why being honest with yourself, honest with myself, I probably spun my wheels for like 5 years. It was the same year, 5 years in a row. So I didn't actually gain 5 years of experience. I just made the same stupid mistakes 5 years on the trot until I got worn down to the point where I was like, can't continue doing this. I've got to change something, right? And I would hope that everyone gets to that point quickly, right? Where they're just literally worn out and they go, this isn't working. There's got to be a better way. And then you seek the better way. You know?
Yeah. With that, there's a lot of different lessons that can be learned. I'm sure there's some people watching this right now who are just like, oh, I'm going to click off, I'm going to unsubscribe, whatever. That's fine. But honestly, one of the most important things I've learned, which I don't know, I'm not even that old, is it's like I don't have that much experience, but it's all about being in the right mentality, knowing who you are, connecting with the right people, because you never know that one person out there. Of course, you can't go to every single person, try and use your time effectively, but if you have the right connections, you will see exponential growth, and whatever you're doing, go full out. It's either you're obsessed or you're just going to be average. So Grant Cardone. And with that, it's like go full out every single day, because if it's the last, you're going to be remembered as either, I don't want to be rude, but nothing, or you're able to be remembered for your company, and hopefully it's good, or whatever. You don't have to build a company if you're not a business person. You can go into cryptocurrencies and make $1 million overnight if you really, really, really wanted to. Got to get obsessed about it to the point that you stay up late at night on the weekends where it's like, oh, everybody's gone home. Boom, you're learning, you're connecting, you're going full out. And then, hey, maybe with a little bit of luck, it might happen to you. So there was a comment about B2X. Let's check it out. Let's check out what's been going on.
So first of all, futures for B2X, they're right down to $188 now. So that's been murdered.
That went down. That fell down even further because B2X was, last time we checked, at 430 or something like that. So now
actually, I think this morning the futures were trading about $1,200.
Wow.
Well, because I reported on the show on the CryptoVerse, and it was at 1,200.
So people who had a lot of money in B2X suddenly, boom, just wiped out everything.
Right.
And Bitcoin has it stabilized?
Yeah, it's holding right
sorta.
there. 7,300.
7,300. It's not as crazy as before. It's like 7,300, 7,500.
Right, the range is
boom,
right,
dude. It's going up all over the place.
Right.
So today's been a very exciting day where there's been a lot of stuff happening over in the cryptocurrency news. Last thing before we end this, it's at 5,501 Ethereum for Indahash. $1.731 million. Now, $1.731 million within a couple hours. That's crazy. Now, that may not seem like a lot when you're talking about 100 billion Bitcoin, but get realistic here. This is like this is insane what's going on, and this is only growing. That even if Bitcoin is a bubble, even if all that whatever, it's going to crash. Well, the technology, that's what we're focusing on here. That's the most important part, because that's expanding every single year. There's more jobs, there's more people interested, there's more markets, there's more money. So at the end of the day, these numbers that we're seeing, where who knows, maybe next year the Bitcoin, whatever, 300, 500, that turns into 3,000, 5,000, boom, 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 or the market caps are so crazy that already I'm just shocked every single day I wake up. I'm like, okay, I'm just so used to these. Wow. Okay, another $300 million hack or something like that. It's just like, wow. Anyways, my name is Mike Recupero. We've had some interesting guests on the show today. We talked about a fair amount of things, and I think it's about time to wrap it up. I'm going to post some videos in a little bit. So we've had Chris from the CryptoVerse join us today. Definitely check out his channel. I'm sure you've probably heard of them, of course. Thank you, Chris, for coming on to the show today. And of course, me. We're in Indahash with the CEO, Barbara. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Honestly, definitely check out Indahash. And also, just out of curiosity, check out all the articles written about Barbara, because she's accomplished a fair amount of things out there. And you're able to always learn a lot from successful entrepreneurs. And also, we have Ian in the room. Ian, come on in here for a second.
Just do the outro right now.
Ian's working a little bit. No problemo. So, this is Ian Balina, which
Hey guys,
come in a little
Take
bit.
care.
Perfect. Ian Balina from Hacking the System, also
To the
another
moon.
crypto YouTuber. To the moon. That's what we're going for here. So, Lambos 2018, the year of the Lambos. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. We wish you a wonderful rest of your night or the beginning of your day, wherever you are. Thanks for tuning in, and we shall see you guys tomorrow. So, bye. Keep it.